Since 2018, Madagascar has been facing an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. The ongoing drought has led to famine, known as kiri in Malagasy, affecting over 1 million people, primarily in the southern part of the country. The situation has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, plunging already vulnerable populations into food insecurity and acute malnutrition. According to data from the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification (IPC) released in August 2023, more than 1 million people were classified as being in crisis and emergency situations, including several districts in the Grand Sud of Madagascar. The crisis has worsened over the months. Over 1.7 million people are estimated to be affected by acute food insecurity, including many households with people with disabilities struggling to meet their daily food needs, particularly in the Grand Sud districts such as Bekitro and Androy. In response to this crisis, CBM Global and AM, in collaboration with organizations of people with disabilities, are implementing inclusive humanitarian actions in these two districts. What should be placed in the red envelope, the yellow envelope, and the green envelope? All daily needs should be placed in the yellow envelope. The green envelope, called financier, is for unexpected expenses like the needs of students or in case of illness. So, all related expenses should be placed in this envelope. The red envelope is for savings. The money saved in this envelope will be used to fund your own projects. Vulnerable households, including those with people with disabilities, are supported through inclusive and conditional cash transfers during the land season. These cash transfers aim to ensure that each family has access to essential resources for survival and to prevent the adoption of negative coping strategies. Access to assistance for families with disabilities is facilitated through reasonable accommodations, such as additional support for transportation or companions. Simultaneously, families are supported in their agricultural activities through the establishment of inclusive farmer field schools for participatory learning of agroecological techniques adapted to the climate. We were provided with peanut seeds that we planted following the techniques taught by the project team. We also received sorghum and maize seeds from AIM. The agents taught us how to store these crops, and the training went very well. Beyond immediate assistance, the actions aim for inclusive resilience of families, including those with people with disabilities, by strengthening their capacity to cope with future crises. Close cooperation with organizations of people with disabilities is maintained throughout the implementation of the actions to ensure inclusion.
I am a person with a physical disability and I am part of an OPD. We work with AAM and CBM to carry out work at the Fuktan level to raise awareness of the rights of people with disabilities who are entitled to the same rights as others. We participate in VSLA and farmer field schools. Resilient, inclusive communities where no one is left behind and where people with disabilities enjoy their rights and realize their full potential.
Previously, my house was in a poor condition on the other side of the village, so I asked the other villagers to grant me a small plot of land to build a new home. With the support of the project, I was able to obtain this new house. Since then, I have had my new home, started a small business, and began engaging in craftsmanship and raising chickens. Today, I feel fulfilled, unlike before, because now I can save money and, most importantly, I feel equal to others. In addition to providing immediate assistance, the HAVELO project aims to empower communities and strengthen their ability to cope with future crises by setting up PSLA, a community-based savings and credit system.
When I joined the VSLA in my village, I was able to rebuild my house. At the end of the following cycle, we shared the savings and I was able to get a new, more decent house along with some chickens. These are some of the benefits of being in the association. If my wife and I want to start a small business, we can borrow money from the group's fund and repay the principal over 3 months along with the interest. Then, we can borrow again for our business. This is what motivates us to stay in a village association. Previously, the contributions was 1,000 hariari, but as our activities has prospered, we decided to increase it to 2,000 hariari.
Number 25 has finished all 5 heads of keto. Thanks to VSLA, the beneficiaries of the HAVELO project, including people with disabilities, strengthen their economic resilience and contribute to the economic development of their communities. The goal of the actions carried out by CBM, AM, and organizations of people with disabilities in southern Madagascar.